Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Your buddy JohnMegacycle here. Another episode of the Command and Conquer Generals 0-Hour AI Tournament, hosted by map created by cncHD. They slid me this map and chatted up the plan, and I'm like, you know what? I could run another one of these. Great. I like playing with computers and watching them beat themselves for my enjoyment. I feel like an old Roman emperor or something. So, we have completed the GLA, the China. We are now up to the USA to see how they fare. It's going to be the United States Laser General versus the United States Super Weapons General. I believe last time we did Air Force versus Laser, or it was Super versus Air Force or whatever. I tried to do different loadouts this time to try to mix it up a little bit, see if we get different runnings, but this is a map developed by cncHD, like I said, and with the map comes its own AI, its own scripts, its own whatever logic for the AI to do. So let's watch these dorks go all Caligula crazy, and let's have a good fight. No, that's fine.
Unit lost.
Okay, Super Weapon General in the north, Laser General to the south. Let's take a very thank you. Let's take a very close idea. A close look and see what we're doing. So, I already see a little drone here for the Laser General deployed up there. So, Power Barracks, they actually sell their command center before their supply center's even built. They do it the second the power plant's online. Fine. No problem with that. Nothing wrong with an earlier sell. So we've already got, the same two supplies. Looks like we've already got someone getting on the capture thing. A war factory immediately makes sense. Laser tanks are kind of the bread and butter of the Laser General. That makes sense. The Super Weapon General doesn't have tanks. So it's going to be kind of an interesting thing to see what comes out of here. Most likely Rock Vs. If I had to guess, we're in the age of Aquarius, and it's going to be a Rock V rush, but we'll see. What do I mean by Rock V? If you're unfamiliar, Rock V is slang for rocket Humvee. It's building a Humvee. Humvees have a fire port setup, which allows infantry from inside the Humvee to fire out. They also got cargo for 5. So what that really means is you can make something that punches very hard. But yeah, there you go. There's our standard Rock V. Very hard, very quick. You could also do the drone add-ons on the right side here. We've got the Hellfire, the Spy, and the one that goes combat drone maybe. Anyway, there's the stealth. There's the Humvee. Similar thing right here for the Super Weapon General. I did not see the Super Weapon General drop anything. Wait, whose is this? I see a green flashy, but I see it's red. Maybe that's the Super Weapon Generals? Hard to tell. Anyway, you guys should figure out what you're doing for Christmas or whatever the hell's going on, because this is going to be problematic for one of you. You're just stuck there. You're actively advancing. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Yep, and just like that, that wraps up real nice. Laser General just not sure what they want to do with their lives, but it does seem like both factions do want to capture stuff, and that's real cool. Real cool. Laser General successfully able to shut down the Super Weapon Generals, capturing ambitions. Fire bases, alright. Fire bases are decent defense. They add a little bit of shock value, also they don't require power. So if you really want to start expanding out a defensive line, the... Oh. Stalemate there. The fire bases are not a bad choice. One of the dangers of building a lot of defenses are the power requirement, right? So if you want to build 8 or... Holy crap. Go Ranger. It's your birthday. Go Ranger. It's your birthday. If you want to build a bunch of Patriots, which allow for missile defense, or they defend with missiles? Whatever. The thing of it is it does cost, not just for the item itself, but also more in power. It looks like the laser generals got their stuff a little bit more on point. If they just capture up, they're doing better economically. Still the same Rock V formation. Also seeing an ambulance is nice. They also went 3 Chinooks. There's the strategy center. I don't think I saw the strategy center here for the super weapon general. Very same thing, Rock V and ambulance. Do we have any of the upgrades? The laser general has tow rocket, which allows for another rocket for the Humvee to fire, which is nice. More anti-structure, anti-vehicle. That is the 3rd oil derrick captured for the laser general. What did you build here? A barracks right in the middle of the battlefield. Interesting. So how's this all gonna shake out? It's going in reverse. I'm sure that was accidental, but damn, that was funny. Alright. I don't know if we talked about this, but artillery generally in RTSs has a minimum range. You just hug it. You just hug it real good, and you can just shoot it up all day. Alright. Another barracks. Search and destroy allows for... What is it, 10% more range? Also, there's a detector that gets installed here. The extra range is really, really important. Especially if you're doing this kind of stuff, really.
Search and destroy.
Oh, there we go. I find it really weird they build it all the way out there, but maybe that's the same-ish location that they would have built a palace anyhow? Man, this whole game is going to change the moment any of you can get... Crap, I keep thinking Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs are from Red Alert. Pathfinders. If anyone wanted the functional definition of a peeing contest. There's a better way to say that, but I don't want to say it. This is it. It's just rockets shooting rockets at each other's rockets. Yeah. Something will get done eventually, just not today, probably. Now, the one thing that's a little interesting about this is we have not seen anything that is uniquely of a general's power. Like, we haven't seen anything like... This is just vanilla United States, really. The only thing we've seen here is this cold fusion reactor, which is unique to the super weapon general. Aside from that, Avenger, yeah. That Avenger should probably move up a bunch. It's not going to move up a bunch. Yeah, it's deflecting a little. This is so weird. Laser General not building laser tanks, fine. Super Weapon General not building an Air Force, fine. None of them have... Do any of them have flashbangs? Yes. Do you? Everyone does. Everyone has flashbangs. Okay. I was like, that would really tune this battle up a bunch. I'm not even too entirely sure exactly who's winning. Okay, well, that was riveting. The Super Weapon General was able to keep their own. While it was all happening, though, there was a capture of 2 of the reinforcement pads in the middle by the Laser General. I believe that'll drop laser tanks. I don't remember. That'll probably drop laser tanks. And there you are, Pathfinders. They are out and about for the laser general. Oh, there's the laser tank. Yep, that definitely came from the reinforcement pad, 100%. I don't think... Oh, no, well, it could have been manufactured. Okay, let's do a quick tech check. I've been watching main battles for a while. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 supply drops. Those take 2 minutes and they'll drop 2,500 monies. Really big economic boon right there. Unfortunately, the super weapon general has not been able to get enough room to tech up. They have their strat center. Unfortunately for them, it's in a really problematic place. And the laser general has not given up. This one guy right here is going to be the Lord and Savior of the United States. This one Pathfinder is just gonna... Yep. That turns the tide. That one promotion. I really want to take... If I do any modding with this game ever, what I want to do is I want to take the kill noise and I want to place it with the one in Renegade. Renegade is a first-person shooter in the Command & Conquer universe. And when you kill someone in that game, you get a doink noise. Doink. I don't know how else to say it. It's a doink noise. Like if you... like if you said the word doink to a synthesizer and it's like, make word doink. That's exactly the noise it would make. And they just sell out. Wow. Yep, there was no real way to manufacture a victory there. Whew. 10 minutes. That was very fast. That was very fast. Victory goes to Laser General. They just had it on point. They just really had it on point. I don't know if it was lucky because of some of the battle matchups, and like we won't see that happen again, or I'm not really too entirely sure what happened. But that worked out really, really well. No, Nico. No. I know I said eco a bunch. Please don't jump on my lap. You have claws. I have not sharpened. I have not trimmed your claws. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. Okay, Laser and Da Super. Laser's gonna go on top, Super on the bottom. Let's hit this thing. This matchup has been fairly unexpected in my opinion. I think I would have put down numbers for Super to win. Oh, they both deployed right there. Look at that. I think I would have put down numbers for Super to win. But realistically, when it comes down to it, I've said this before, I think Laser is a really good all-rounder. If you're not sure who you want to play, Laser's not a bad choice. Especially when it comes to AOD maps. Laser's not a bad choice. Everything pretty lockstep here. Power plant barracks 2 supply. Already in infantry to capture the oil. Very, 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 very important to get that. Any amount of savings. I think it's a 10% savings. Any amount of savings is critical, especially for the early game. War factory up. Okay. First 5 minutes of this match is going to be very lockstep, very similar in nature. It's just going to be Rock Vs. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's a really good strat. And there's our capture for Laser. There's our capture for Super. First Rock V is going to have 3 infantry in it. Super looks like they're going to be able to get their everything moving a little quicker. Not too much. Not too much. The map is long enough that if you're lacking a couple of seconds, it's not that big of a deal. Is that infantry going to go inside of there? No, they're just going to be in the way. All right. Now this is where the Laser General got stuck last time. Oh, this is going to be a real killer. If they can get up in there and not... Yeah, it looks like they already have... The laser generals already reacting. Fun, but largely ineffective. Now we do the capture dance. Everyone's got a little bit of money. That's one capture for laser. And that's one capture for super. Everyone's on kind of the same tilt right now. I was wondering if they were ever going to get to those, and they did. Super Weapon General trying to really shut this down. The oil refineries have a considerable amount of hit points. So you can't just go in and just stomp them. You gotta really put the work to them. Yep. And that's a dozer toasted. Here's that whizzing contest I mentioned before. Let's do a quick tech check while that's all happening. Not much else has changed here for the soup. The super weapon. Not much has changed here for the laser. We do have some fire bases out and about. So that's at least cool. More captures. Super weapon has 2 oil derricks. Laser has 1. And it is not in good resale value shape. It is not what I would call, it's not what I would call like new if I was going to do an eBay posting for this oil derrick. Nah, man, nah. Everyone has capture, everyone has flashbangs, which I always thought is funny that flashbangs killed somebody. Have you ever been flashbanged? I haven't, but I'm sure it's not fatal, and I'm sure it's also not fun. Super Weapon General getting their strat center up a little earlier. It's already halfway built here in the southeast. Power plant? Power plant, yep. Big attack coming from the Laser General. That's sweeping over to the west. At least one of those Humvees is loaded to the brim. Personally, I'm kind of a guy that I would rather have 3 Humvees with like 1 dude in it than 1 Humvee with 5 dudes in it or something. Like spread out the damage, right? When a Humvee explodes, usplodes. Is that? I think that's the canonical term we're using. Usplodes. When a Humvee explodes, everyone in it dies. They don't eject. So you have to, as the player, click the eject button. This is going to be bad news for everybody. Oh. Alright. When it explodes, you have to eject everybody out before. Or you lose all the infantry. Okay, that's 1 reinforcement pad capped. That's a Patriot site. Interesting. An EMP one, no less. The Super Weapon General's Patriot sites are EMP Patriots? How are they called? EMP Patriot systems. Electromagnetic pulse is the abbreviation, or is the long form of EMP. Effectively, what it does is it disables vehicles for a short time, which is devastating against players and factions that rely heavily on vehicles. I'm looking at you, Tank General, who has no artillery. It's a lot of badness. It's a lot of badness. Alright. The Super Weapon General in the south and Laser General in the north, they both have a considerable amount of weaponry. Super Weapon General has been doing a better job getting their tech online. I'm not seeing any supply drops. But they do have Search and Destroy on their strategy center. I wonder really how this is going to pan out. This might come down again to whomever can crank out the Pathfinder, right? And the other thing that's really cute about the Pathfinder is you can build as many as you want. There's no limit. There's no limit whatsoever. Which is, I think, is kind of weird. I don't know if making it more expensive or longer to train would balance any of that, but that unit has always seemed really weird to me to just have. And that took care of the reinforcement pad and that dozer on the left side. Sad but true. I'm amazed we haven't seen Lord Buckethead yet. Sire Shovelchin. The Archduke of talking his face off. I keep forgetting his name. The hero of the USA. Johnny Bravo, that's his name. Man, I'm pretty. Ba, 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 ba. Dear mod makers, please change Colonel Shovelchin to Johnny Bravo. Thanks, I love you, bye. Still a lot of little scrap fights. First double-ranked laser tank. Laser tanks hurt. They pounce. They don't punch. They just pounce. Not necessarily against infantry, but still. Tomahawks. Tomahawks, a staple of the Super Weapon General. I also saw an airport. We could see Aurora Alpha bombers. We have the Strat Center built. That is something that we could see on the field. That would be very interesting. Yep, that's just too much of that. Super Weapon General is turning Laser General's vehicles into pilots. That's probably some sword in the stone nonsense I'm not going to get into. No. The United States has a unique ability that if they have a vehicle that is veteranized in any way, a pilot will be ejected from it. And then the pilot can be put into other vehicles. Aurora Alpha Bomber. Oh, man. These things are fun. These things are a fun part of the game. And by fun part of the game, I'm like, holy crap, why? I don't know if this is the end of the Laser General. Realistically, if the Laser General could get a really good push on either side, both sides are exposed, they might be able to get some work done. That's going to be just such a pain in the ass. I don't know if that turns the tide completely. Super Weapon General also has Pathfinders. So now Pathfinders are no longer a rarity. They are no longer the Mew of the Pokemon world. Dude, that was rude. A single Aurora Alpha Blast for one missile infantry. Man, if Super Weapon General can crank out like 3 more of those, they might be set. But I also am not seeing any late game economy here. Laser General also not doing much of a much. This might be our first matchup we'll see where we need a tiebreaker. All the other ones have been very 2-0, right? Just straight up. One is the victor after 2 matches. No muss, no fuss. But this is going to be very interesting. Like I said, first time. Maybe the first time we see that we need more battlements. Dude, infantry are not going to cut it. Stop sending the clowns. Oh, it's not so much the impact. It's the after blast, right? That's what took out that laser tank in no problem. Now, if the Laser General would put one Pathfinder inside of a doesn't matter. Inside of a Humvee, that would shut all this down, because Humvees can't get one shot by Pathfinders. Pathfinders kill infantry. They're not JohnMegacycle. JohnMegacycle can disable a vehicle. But the problem is he's now going to get detected and... Yep, there it is. That Aurora Alpha Bomber has been pulling weight. So much weight. Let's take a look at some tech stuff and see where we're at. Laser has 2 of the oils. Everyone looks like they're reaching out to tap some of the other resources. We do have a reinforcement pad on the east side for Laser. I'm still not seeing Strat Center, and that makes me very nervous. This big pile of infantry, this is all that has to happen. If the laser general's just going to keep coming over, it makes that very problematic. Okay, a little bit of harassment on the left side, thanks to the laser general, brought to you by Carl's Jr., I guess. Because I've seen Idiocracy recently, and I've been saying that constantly. Why do you keep saying that all the time? It's because they pay me every time I do. God, if you're the smartest man in the world, do you think you would have figured that out? Dumb movie references are 97% of my genome. That's all I've got. Good harassment here. You don't need a lot to harass resources, especially when the resources are not being protected. Okay, well, that pilot got vaporized the second he left the thing. But seriously, get a unit. Here's what you do. You get a Humvee. You park it right here. You start attacking. Don't attack the plane. Just attack the airfield. The aircraft is like, well, I gotta react. And it's an Aurora Alpha bomber. It's gonna drop its payload and destroy its own airport. It's hilarious. Oh, oof. That was cool. Alright, yep. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Amen. That's terrible. Alright, so it appears that the Super Weapon General was biding their time, while the Laser General was in full assault mode. So now we're going to see what happens. It's going to be the War of the Snipers, right? Oh, well. This might be less of a war and more of a skirmish. This might be less of a skirmish and more of an addendum. And it's over. Okay. The one addendum to all the books of the war books of the Battle of the Snippers. Alright. Everyone's just clipping each other's resources. This is going to be really problematic because I'm, again, not seeing any long game resource, any long-term resources in here. We're looking for supply drops, and I don't see any. Hell, Laser General doesn't even have a strategy center. Still, it's killing me. Even for just the countermeasures ability, counterintelligence, is super worth it. Now, actually, looks like since the Laser General was able to knock out much of the Pathfinders before, now the Pathfinders for Laser just have like a field day. That's a new thing. Sentry bot? A sentry drone? Sentry drone, I got it eventually. Oof! It's raining, man. I feel so bad. Like, it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. And it's storming again. I'm sorry if that's picking up. Alright, battle number 2, rematch. All these dorks. Those are like $600 a piece. Pathfinders? Yeah, those are expensivo. I'm not gonna be able to find chunks of that tank. We're gonna find just tank shrapnel littered around this beach for years to come. Oh man, bring your metal detector, kids. Let's have a day at the beach. So this is weird because the only thing I see really functioning right now that's gonna be the real breadwinner is gonna be that Aurora Alpha bomber that's about to remove this tank from the game. And somehow the pilot lived to tell the tale. Alright, so how do you deal with an Aurora Alpha bomber? It takes no damage on the way to its target. The dropped payload is guaranteed. So one thing you can do is build a lot of light units and spread them out. Spread them out. Like build like a barrier of cheap crap. So that way the enemy has to deal with it before it can actually get to the expensive stuff, yeah? You might ask what happened to that pilot. It got immediately vaporized by these Pathfinders. Honestly, I can't believe the Laser General is still around and kicking and doing. What do you got? Of course. And you took out the Chinook. Oops. Mate, oops doesn't cut it. Does Laser have money? So here's kind of the thing about also hard AI. Watch this $50. Just watch it. It's gonna do tricks and stuff. I don't see any economic method here. I see no money. There's no oils left. There's nothing. But just keep an eye on that 50. Here's another way the AI cheats. They'll just, sums the time, get a cash stipend. And that's it. Yep, there's a strat center gone. Yep, Super Weapon General is done. Other ways to deal with Aurora Alpha Bombers we talked about a little bit before is bring these guys. Bring Pathfinders. Avengers? Blah, I said Pathfinders too often. Bring Avengers and make sure that they are spread out again. But make sure that they can take it out so it doesn't have a chance to go back home. And refuel. And then, of course, the other way is just come here and take out the airport. Man, I really thought Super Weapon General is going to move to the next round. Nope, that's it. That's 2 for Laser. That's 2 for Laser.
You have been defeated.
Alright. Interesting. Interesting stuff. So thank you all very much for joining me. Let's see, that was Laser. Next, they'll go up against the Air Force General of the United States. And then we're into the semifinals. So yeah, thanks again. And I hope to catch you next time. Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Thanks for checking out my video. I also want to take a moment to thank all my supporters and donators, and if you'd like to join up with me and game with my crew, all the information to get connected is in the description below. Thanks again, and I hope to catch you next time.